Sorry, we're into the last 20 minutes of the programme, and with me, a good friend, Barry Treanor, a Rooney's Meadow man, and a man of Africa and Kidway as well. We've been following Barry's progress as he prepares to go yet again to his beloved street children in Kidway. And thank you very much for coming in, Barry.
Thank you, Ron.
You're off on Wednesday morning?
Off on Wednesday morning, yeah.
Right. What is the process? Where do you go, and how does what's the transportation?
Well, flying from Dublin into Dubai, and then I have to wait for about 9 hours, 10 hours, and then I fly straight into Zambia.
Into Zambia, and you're going to the...
I go into Lusaka, into the capital, and then it takes me about maybe a couple of days to get up to the Copper Belt.
Yeah.
Do that by jeep.
Yeah. What are the roads like going up from the urban setting of Kampala right up into the Copper Belt?
The main road isn't too bad. You have to be very careful, Ron. There's a lot of potholes. You know, a lot of the road may be unfinished. It can be in a state of disrepair. But you know, as you know from your time in Africa, the worst roads are the roads that are off sort of the main roads that go into the villages, that go into the small towns. You just have to be very, very careful. A journey, I suppose, that would take you, I mean, the distance from Newry to Warren Point, we would probably do it in 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
That distance in Africa, it might take
3 hours.
you, it would take you a long time.
Yeah, a long time to do it. And of course, it's on the roads in Africa that you're at your greatest exposure to danger, because the traffic accidents are almost endemic there.
Yeah,
there's a constancy of them.
Yeah, very frequent accidents. Yeah, you just have to have your wits about you.
Yeah.
Be very careful.
Are you okay for any risk of robbers on the road on the way up?
There probably is. There's always that risk. You know, thank God I haven't experienced it, but I've heard that people that have. I suppose again, it's when you get in close to the Congo border. Travelling to different places like Muffalira and things like that, you know, and I think it's gotten a bit better, Ron, where it maybe doesn't happen as often.
Donal, in our part of Africa, and we shan't name it, in my part, for obvious reasons, travelling with Donal, Father Donal Cahan of the SMA, we were travelling along, and twice we were stopped on the road by robbers, and on each occasion we thought it was the end of the world. And literally, Donal had to put the foot down and break out of it. And as we were escaping, we had windows broken and mirrors broken and stone, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it is it's no armchair you're going out to experience. It's
no,
a tough enough.
It is.
call.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, and then I think doing work with street children it's dangerous enough, because you're out on the streets, you're out after dark, and you're working through till the early hours of the morning. And I mean, look, Rowan, you know, in any major city and anywhere in the world, there's bad things happen at night. It's dangerous. You know, there's places you're not supposed to go. When you're going out to do this work, you have to go into those places, because that's where you're going to find the children.
Yes.
But you get used to it, and you become sort of comfortable with your surroundings. You get to know the local people. There's a great dedicated team out there who come out and help me, you know, local people.
Absolutely.
And they do it. Like, Rowan, I have the luxury of going out and coming back here. They live out there all the time. They're the real heroes,
Well, look,
you know.
the people in my project, in the education and health project in my part of Africa, are very, very appreciative of what you're doing with the street children.
Thank you.
And would like you to accept our small generosity of £250 sterling.
That's fantastic,
And
Rowan.
there you are, if you would hold on to that.
Thank you very
And
much. Thank you.
You'll take that with you on Wednesday morning.
I will.
So how useful will that be, and what can you do with 250 quid?
I always say, Rowan, 28p buys a strip of malaria medication, and for a child who is HIV positive, I mean, malaria is going to kill them. So that strip of, I think it's 12 tablets in a strip for 28p, saves their life. So when you think of what £250 will do, it'll buy a lot of medicine, it'll buy a lot of food, it'll go a long, long way. When it's spent right, Rowan, you know, a little can go a long way out there. So from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for this. Thank you very
so
much.
welcome, and it's a joy to have you as an emissary going out there and going into the cauldron of the Africa that you're helping in. I would say the excitement is beginning to grow out there in expectation of your arrival again.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is. Yeah, I get some messages now and some phone calls and things. So when you have, you know yourself, when you haven't seen them in a couple of years or a year, you know, they do look forward to seeing you. And greetings are so important to them. You know, that's that first time they meet you and saying goodbye. You know, I always find the middle part of the conversation isn't the most important in Zambia. It's the greetings and the saying
And
goodbyes.
the saying goodbyes.
Yeah, they hold the most important.
They're
for the
kind of an
Zambian
emotional people.
Look, they are. They really are, and a very warm, affectionate people.
Yeah.
You know, and particularly the children. And you know, the children are starved of that. They're starved of affection. They're starved of kindness. So when you show any wee bit of it to them, you know, they get a lot from it.
Will you see our friend of these parts of County Tyrone, Father P.J. Gormley?
Yeah, I'm sure I will. I'll hope to see Father PJ. I hear he's still doing great work. So I'm going to definitely see him, Rowan, and tell him that any time I'm on, you always mention him.
Well, he's never not mentioned.
No, exactly.
Because I remember 10 years ago almost now, when I went for the first time to Africa, I was going to Nigeria.
Yes.
And out at Drummondine, when he was there as the superior, the provincial at Drummondine, he said, "Where is it you're going, Rowan?" And I said, "I'm going to Nigeria." He said, "Who talked you into going there?" You know, so it had a bit of a reputation as a hotbed of difficulty. But
I'm sure.
Thankfully, things are tough there at the moment, but it seems to be Boko Haram are now beginning to be put slightly on a back foot.
Yeah.
There's a fight back occurring, you know.
Yes.
And the elections are coming in Nigeria, and who knows what will happen there. But we hope for the best and see how it goes.
Yes, thank you.
The work that you're doing there, it found its origin when, in the hearts of yourself and your people, through Drummondine, the SMA Drummondine.
Drummondine, SMA Fathers.
Friends of Africa.
Yeah, Friends of Africa are a lay missionary group that have been set up to work alongside the SMA. They work very closely with the SMA, Rowan. And they have projects in Zambia, South Africa, Tanzania. And it was really set up for young people who didn't want to go into the priesthood, or who didn't want to become a nun, but they still wanted to experience missionary work. So it's a great opportunity for young people to go out, and they go out every summer. They go out for a couple of months in the summer, and then that can lead on to long-term volunteering as well.
It's a wonderful thing that our schools in this area, the Abbey in the Zambian immersion project, St. Paul's go out.
That's right.
St. Coleman's, they're all at it. They've all developed this sense of the need to outreach to the majority world. And they're doing it.
No, they are. I mean, look, I know St. Mary's here have backed your project.
St. Mary's have been second to none.
They've been amazing,
And and we greet Maurice Fitzpatrick this morning. We greet Margot, who is the headmistress there, Margot Cosgrove, at St. Mary's, and the children and the Board of Governors, who have been resolute in their constant support for the St. Mary's project in our part of Africa. You know. So and the children, the knowledge is growing as well as the money being collected. We're developing a generation of young people who have a conscience.
Yes, definitely. And I think it comes, as you rightly said there, it comes from the teachers, it comes from the top, the guys in charge, the guys that are teaching and passing on their knowledge. For me, in that school, Teresa Kearney, who I would know very well, she's an absolute lady, and she's helped me with the street kids as well. She does it every year, Rowan. I know the Abbey are out there at the minute. They're doing fantastic work in the Livingston area of Zambia. There's a young lad I know gone out, Killian McAvoy. I think he's only 18 years of age, and he's done sterling fundraising here, and now he's going out there to spread it out, and he's doing a fantastic job. So he's a credit.
Do you see? You know, you've spent a year there. In your part of Zambia. In that year, was it tangible? Was it measurable? Was it quantifiable from the beginning of the year to the end of the year? All that happened in the arc of in between.
It was, Rowan, there was more days probably frustrating than there was days where you felt like you'd achieved something. It happens very slow. It takes a long time to get anything done because of, I suppose, the crime that there is. You know, I mean, you're talking about people living in abject poverty. It is. It's a city, and it would be a small sort of shopping area, but it's a huge surrounding area of the city. A lot of compounds, most of it living in abject poverty. So it was hard, you know, like Rowan, you might put your heart and soul into getting something done, and it could be stolen, it could be broken into, it could be ruined, it could be burnt, and that was the frustrating thing. But it never stopped you, you know, even though you might have had a setback, you kept going, you know. I'm sure you've experienced that yourself.
Yeah, I was very lucky on one occasion because the priest of Abuja at in the headquarters there, in the Holy Family Parish in Gwarimpa Life Camp in Abuja, an SMA father, he was there, and by chance, at the morning mass, the local police chief, who was a Catholic, gave him, look, he said, Father, you take my number. This is my number, personal number. Mm-hmm. If you're in trouble on any occasion, you ring me and I'll make sure everything's sorted out. So the father took the number, and that night, robbers came to the house, and he was behind several locked doors of cage material in order to keep safe.
Yeah.
But he knew they were coming, and they were breaking down the door, and he rang the number, and miraculously the chief of police answered, and he was saved.
Right.
And you know,
yeah,
they come up against it. It's a risk, and it's very, very difficult.
It is.
On another occasion, after the Friday prayers, the extreme Muslim people, the extreme Islamists, they came down the road over the compound wall and opened the gates, and they all stormed in. Part of the church and the priest's house was burnt to the ground. Another priest from County Tyrone, he was there, cowering hiding in a wood pile,
yeah.
And the boy was there with a gun, and he was looking death in the face.
Yeah.
And for some, again, a miracle. The boy was called away, and he went another way, and he raced on.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
It's scary. And some of the SMA that are in Zambia now, they haven't always been in Zambia. They've been all over.
Yeah.
And some of the stories they would tell you about their very, very close experiences, you know, with death.
Yeah.
And dangerously so.
Even at the time of the Biafran War in East Nigeria, even at that time, there was a priest in his first year in Africa. He's now back, he's in Galway now, he's in Ireland, I can't remember his name. He came from out in Armagh, County Armagh. Oh, the name, goodness gracious. I grow older, I can't remember names so well. But he was there in the compound, and the government, the rebel soldiers, the government soldiers, the fighting was going on. They were under fire, and he had to run for cover, and the bullets bouncing around him, you know. But all of this is part and parcel of the responsibility and the requirement of the command to love your neighbour.
Yeah.
So do you find that commandment is close to you, that the business of being a person who is there giving expression to the Jesus requirement that you love your neighbour? Do you sense, are you driven by spirituality?
Yeah, I probably am. Yeah, I think so. I think it comes from somewhere, you know.
The Medichapel.
The Medichapel, yeah. And some days, Rowan, it's stronger than others, and some days it isn't there at all, and some days it's.
That's a beautiful honesty.
Yeah.
I recognise this.
Yeah.
And it's good. The little garden in Kidway is doing well?
It's absolutely thriving, and that's thanks to yourself and all the support that you've given over the years. And since 2009, Rowan, it's generating over 30 different crops now yearly. There's a borehole with fresh water all year round. And I mean, honestly, that's been coming from yourself and the support that you've given to the project.
No, it's been a joy. It's been an honour to be associated with the project.
Thank you.
We will keep the interest up. What I'm doing on my Facebook on Destination Uri and as Rowan Hand, and on the Destination Uri website, I'm doing an image of the day from Africa and India. Now, if you would be good enough to email me half a dozen images of Kidway and your work there,
I will.
I will use those in the weeks ahead as my image for the day.
Great.
And we'll keep promoting it and promoting
That's
it.
fantastic.
How much are you hoping to take out with you this time?
I'm hoping to have maybe about £7,000 or £8,000, which is fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So good.
It is. It's really good.
So good. So good.
So, and thanks a million for this, Rowan.
Not at all.
That's a fantastic help.
We wish you well.
Thank
it's
you.
Barry Treanor, Meadowman.
Thank you.
Man of Africa, of Zambia, of Kidway, man of the street children, heading out there once again to be of assistance and to be of help. Go well.
Thank you, Rowan.
God bless
Thank
you.
you. Thanks very much.
So, you want local Nuri and more TV shows on your television?